In today's show, we're going to talk about the results of the 2023 Retirement Confidence Survey. So whether you are approaching retirement or if you're already retired, we're going to talk about some key learnings that you can take away from this survey. For example, expectations of what people think will happen in retirement from an income or spending standpoint versus reality of what actually takes place. Plus, what appears to be a key ingredient in helping increase confidence for those that are in or nearing retirement.
Welcome to the Your Life, Your Money podcast with Scott Searens, teaching you how to thrive in life, wealth, and retirement.
Welcome back to another episode of The Retirement Show, all about your life, your money, and helping you reduce your taxes. I'm your host, Scott Searens, and my goal is to help you enjoy your life today. How can you be confident about enjoying your life today and at the same time be financially confident about your retirement? With that, dim the lights. The results are in. No, I'm not going to give you the top 10 for American Idol, but what I am going to give you are the results of the Retirement Confidence Survey. Some very surprising results in this survey, especially in different categories like spending and income when it comes to the expectations of people that are working versus the reality of people that are already retired. Also in their survey, I was blown away by the percentage of people who are unaware or who do not know how much they can take out of their retirement savings and make it last. And then stick around towards the end. One of the key ingredients found out in this survey that helps increase confidence in your retirement. So that's what we're going to talk about today. If you're new to the show, subscribe on your favorite podcast player, and that way you'll get notified each and every week as we're coming out with new episodes to help you build wealth, help you retire with confidence, and help you keep more of your hard-earned money in your pocket versus giving it to the IRS in taxes. So you can subscribe on your favorite podcast player. If you're trying just to find the show, you can go to lifemoneyshow.com. Again, lifemoneyshow.com. And click on the links there. We've got them all set up so you can just use those links to subscribe to where you like listening to podcasts the most. So, as I had mentioned, today we're going to have a conversation about the Retirement Confidence Survey. This was conducted by the Employee Benefit Research Institute and the independent research firm Greenwald Research. So here's what it says about it. But what I've done is I've gone through, it's a long survey. I'm going to link to it in the show notes. So again, you go to the show notes, we're going to have all the links to all of the survey results here. And so you can look at all the graphs, charts, things that I'm going to talk about in our conversation today. But just to give you an overview in regards to it. So it says the Retirement Confidence Survey gauges the views and attitudes of working age and retired Americans regarding retirement, their preparations for retirement, their confidence with regard to various aspects of retirement and related issues. The Retirement Confidence Survey is the longest running survey of its kind and is conducted annually, as I mentioned earlier, by the Employee Benefit Research Institute and the independent firm Greenwald Research. Now, before I go into the next paragraph here, folks, if you are somebody in retirement, what we're going to talk about today can be helpful and beneficial to you. If you're somebody approaching retirement, if you're going to retire within the next, say, 5 years or 1 year, some of the results that I'm going to talk about here are really important to you because some of the results here are comparing what the expectations are of people that are working and then what actually happens in retirement. Now, depends how you feel about this. Some people could say this is a good survey amount. Some might say it's not enough. But either way, I think it gives us results, and they do the same thing every year, so they're able to compare results from prior years, and I think we'll find that very helpful. It says the 2023 survey was of 2,537 Americans, was conducted online January 5th through February 2nd. Of this year, 2023. The respondents were ages 25 or older. The survey included 1,320 workers, so again, pre-retirement folks, and then 1,217 retirees. So what are we expecting, and then what actually happens? All right, as I mentioned earlier, dim the lights. Let's get to the results. Our first one here, the first result that I want to talk about, have a conversation around, was comparing, and it says, and here's the title of it, compared with what you expected when you first retired, would you say the following are higher or lower for you now than what you expected? Read that one more time. Compared with what you expected when you first retired, would you say that the following are higher or lower for you now than what you originally expected? So we've got a chart here that's going to talk about different spending items. And the question here, or the chart's going over, once you actually retired, were these items, did you spend what you expected on these items? So that's one of the results, right? About the same. Or I'm going to categorize two of the other columns that say much higher than expected, somewhat higher than expected. So I'm going to put those together. We're just going to call those higher than what you expected. So first off, overall expenses and spending. When you retired, was that what you expected or was it higher than what you expected? So the results on that were 43% of people said, no, you know what? It was what I expected going into retirement. But here's an interesting one. 48% of the people surveyed in retirement, right, just of the retirees, 48% of people said that their overall expenses and spending was higher than what they expected. This is very interesting because the other thing is here is it says that that number, while it's 48% this year, last year it was 36%. So what does that tell me? It tells me that more people are getting surprised by expenses, by their expenses actually being higher in retirement than what they maybe originally planned. Okay, some of the other categories here. Was it what you expected or higher than expected? Healthcare and dental expenses. This one, not as many people surprised. It said 50% of people said the expenses were what they expected. 38% of people said that the expenses were higher than what they expected. This one, as you know, I have a huge focus on helping you minimize your taxes in retirement. So the next category here is the amount of taxes you have to pay. Was it what you expected or higher than expected? So 49% of people said it was about the same, meaning what they expected going to retirement. However, 30% of retirees said that the taxes that they'd have to pay in retirement were higher than what they expected. The next one here, travel, entertainment, leisure expenses. 47% of people that went into retirement, so now that they're retired, they said, yep, that was about the same as what I expected. And 29% of people said that their travel, entertainment, and leisure expenses were actually higher than what they expected in retirement. So what's my takeaway from this survey results, from this chart and graph? Like I said, everything's going to be on lifemoneyshow.com. You just go to the show notes. You can click on the links there. It'll take you to all of these different results. Well, my takeaway from this one is that there are people that are still surprised. We have percentages, right? We have folks that are saying that their spending, their healthcare, their taxes, their travel was higher than what they expected in retirement. So my thought to you listening to this is don't be surprised. Understand what your outflow is going into retirement, while you're in retirement. Put money in for healthcare, put money in for housing repairs, put money in for travel, put money in for taxes, put money in for Medicare, put money in for entertainment, put money into your plan. You see, if you put enough into your plan and it still works, that's going to help give you confidence in retirement. It's going to help give you flexibility in your retirement. But if you just wing it, you may need to make some big changes when you retire. Share a quick story with you. I had a couple that when we first sat down, they'd always lived within their means, meaning they'd lived within their paychecks. And so based on that, they didn't necessarily have a great idea of what their outflow would be in retirement. So what did they do? They were kind of winging it. They were saying, oh, we think it's around X amount. Well, once they got into retirement, just like some of these survey results here, they were learning that some of their expenses not necessarily the taxes, but the expenses that they didn't share with me, their normal everyday living expenses were higher than what they had actually expected. They had never tracked it. They didn't know what their outflow was because they'd always lived within their means. So hopefully the takeaway from my story here is even if you live within your means, you live within your paychecks, understand what that is. Just get a gauge on it, have a rough number on it, because, if you're within a few $100s a month, not a big deal. But if you're off by a couple $1,000s a month, that can make a really big impact on your retirement. So hopefully the takeaway here from our first survey results is to have a good idea in regards to what your overall expenses will be. And don't forget, got to think about housing expenses, healthcare, taxes, Medicare, and travel, entertainment, etc. Okay, let's move on to the next survey result. All right, so our next one here is doing the same. It's comparing what a person that is working expects versus what a person in retirement is living in reality. And what it's doing is it's saying there's basically two things here. It's saying you feel like this item will be a major source of your retirement, I'll say income, or you feel like it'll be a minor source of your retirement income. And today we're just going to kind of focus on what people said that they felt is going to be your major source. So the title of this one here, to what extent do you expect the following will be or is the following a source of income in retirement? Let's go through that one more time. To what extent do you expect the following will be a source of income in retirement? And for retirees, they're asking to what extent is the following a source of income in retirement? So let's start with the top one that we all think about, which is Social Security. Now, a person who is working said that they expect Social Security. 33% of people said that they expect it to be a major source of the retirement income. This one is like, wow, talk about total opposites. So the retirees, 67% of the retirees said that they feel like the Social Security is a major source of the retirement income. So there's a bit of a discrepancy here, right? People going into retirement think, Social Security, it's not going to be a huge major source. It's only going to make up, some of my retirement income, but not a whole lot of people think that's going to be a major source. Whereas a retiree actually looks back and goes, you know what? Social Security is a major source of retirement income. And there's a big discrepancy here. I don't know if that discrepancy is because that people, still working are starting to lose confidence in Social Security, if it's maybe because they're saving more, so they're going to, need to put less emphasis on their Social Security, or was it that the retiree thought just those same things, but then didn't realize until they got into retirement how much they could actually take out of the retirement funds? And we're going to talk about that a little bit later, which tells me maybe that's the case. Maybe people overplan what they're actually able to withdraw from their retirement funds. The next one here, and this one you'll see is kind of in the opposite as well. It comes to the category then is, my workplace retirement savings plan. And again, to what extent do you expect the following will be a source of income in retirement? So 54% of the pre-retirement people said that this will be a major source of the retirement income. However, of those that are actually retired, 19% of people said this is actually a major source of their income. Now, is that because maybe they hadn't saved up as much, so it's not a major source? Is that, back to my previous comment, maybe they just didn't realize they overplanned how much they could withdraw from it? We've talked about this in previous episodes. Maybe they've got their accounts all over the place. And when you have your accounts all over the place, you're not actually able to see kind of a plan, putting it together of how much you can take out. I find when accounts are over the place, sometimes people get scared to take their money out because they see these smaller accounts kind of depleting. So that one was really interesting to me. I just wanted to share that, is that if you're planning, people that are saying, oh, yep, my retirement savings, that's going to be a major source, but the actual retirees are going, yeah, it isn't so much. So I don't know if people are overconfident in how much they can take out of it, or if this is just a lack of organization kind of item. And then the last one here, and maybe not, I guess kind of a big discrepancy here. The last line item in this category was, will you work for pay in retirement? So the last category is, will you work for pay in retirement? And to what extent do you think this will be a source of income in your retirement? Now, the people that are still working, 28% of them said, yeah, working for pay in retirement. 28% said that this will be a major source. But of the people that are actually retired, they said, only 5% of them said that, working for pay is a major source of income for them in retirement. So, what to keep in mind in regards to this? Well, first off, I do like that the retirement folks are going, yeah, hey, I don't mind working for pay in retirement. Now, we don't know if they have to work for pay. We don't know if they're just doing this for fun. But there are benefits, right, of working and staying active in retirement. It keeps the mind active. It keeps the body active. The other side of this coin here, I'll say, though, is that if you're somebody that is pre-retirement that's saying, oh, I'm going to work for pay in retirement, it's going to be a major source for me of income in retirement. It's going to help supplement my travel. It's going to help supplement my, healthcare needs. It's going to help supplement my lifestyle needs. Well, hopefully we're not getting too confident in what we'll do, right? Because then as people that are retired say, only 5% of them actually look at this as a major source. So if you're planning to work, it appears most, people are deciding then not to. And so you have to ask yourself, if you're planning to work, but then you decide not to, how is that going to impact you? I have a lot of clients that, when we were putting together the retirement plans, they talked about working in retirement for them. But as we put together the plan, we helped them understand, is this actually work optional? Meaning, do you need to work? Or is work optional? You're doing it for fun. You're doing it just because you want to do it, but you actually do not need the income from it. So if you're someone who is thinking of working in retirement, is it because you need to, or is it because that it's work optional? And I think you should really understand that before you go into retirement. Okay, moving on in the survey here, and this one just blows my mind. And again, you can get all of these results. I'm going to link to the website that we went to get the survey results. You go to lifemoneyshow.com, click on the episode, go to the show notes. You can get all the results. This one, like I said, it blows my mind that people are in retirement but do not know this answer. Here's what the title of it is. How confident are you, or are you and your spouse, that you know how much to withdraw from your retirement savings and investments in retirement? Now, they gave 3 different answers: very confident, somewhat confident, not confident. Folks, to me, this is kind of a yes-no question. And if you're somewhat confident, it kind of tells me you're also somewhat not confident. I'm going to put those people in the no category. You either know how much you can take out of your retirement savings to make it last and when you have to make the adjustments, or you don't. And here's the deal. 20% of people said, and as I'm going here, kind of breaking these down, I'm going to call it 20% of people are in that yes category. Very confident. They know how much to withdraw from their retirement savings and their investments, which tells me 80% of people are unsure, which also could then lead to, if you're unsure of how much you can take out of your retirement savings, that could be why you're putting so much reliance in those previous results on your Social Security and less on the retirement savings. Folks, this is something that you should know the answer to. How much can you take out of your retirement savings, and what adjustments do you need to make it last? But first of all, if this is you, if you're in the somewhat confident category or just not confident category, if your answer is no, I don't know this answer, well, you're not alone. But it is something that you should get the answer to, and I'll talk about that more at the end. One of the things that we clearly do is we clearly give each client how much you can take out of your account, and here's how we're going to make it last, meaning the adjustments that we might need to make dependent on the market conditions, both adjustments down if we need to tighten our belt a little bit, and adjustments up when the market gives us good results. That helps people find the balance between spending their money and not running out, but also not leaving a mattress full of money behind. But what I find all the time is a lot of people don't know. They don't know that answer, so then what do? They avoid getting the answer, which then means that they don't touch their retirement savings, which then means they just leave a pile of money behind for others. Don't be in the category that doesn't know. If you are in that category, it's okay. I'm going to talk to you more about that at the end of how we can help you find out those answers that you've been wanting to hear so long. So just know you're not alone, but you can go and get those answers. There's people to help you get those answers. So again, this one's blowing my mind, but I think it's just because of the process that we take to help people like you out. And if you're not sure, then we'll talk to you about how you can get help in this category. Okay, moving on. This one is kind of unique to me as it shows the mind shift that actually happens as people go from pre-retirement into retirement. However, somebody that's pre-retirement really doesn't see and feel this until they actually get into retirement. So if you're pre-retirement, you haven't yet retired yet, really think about this one. And I talk about this all the time in our workshops and seminars that we do because it is a mindset shift that you need to start making prior to retirement because you have to think about things differently. Okay, here's what it is. It says, thinking about your financial priorities in retirement. Which of these is more important to you? One of the things is income stability, and the other is maintaining wealth. 73% of people said that what's more important to them is income stability. 27% said maintaining wealth. And this is the mindset shift from accumulating wealth, the accumulation mindset. How big of a return can you potentially get? How much more can you save in? To the distribution mindset. I talk about this all of the time. And hopefully it's something, if you're not in retirement yet, I just want you to focus on this one thing for a second. At some point in time, your company paycheck will no longer come in. Think about that. At some point in time, your company paycheck will no longer come in, at which point in time you're going to have to go to your retirement savings and start cutting your own personal paycheck. And so then you have to ask yourself, what's important to you at that point in time? Is it actually trying to be the riskiest person out there and hitting home runs to just make your account grow more? Or is it focusing on less volatile returns, helping yourself getting good average returns, but making sure or helping to make sure that you maintain the income that you have coming in from in retirement? And I find and I see that as people get into retirement, as they start going through their retirement lives, that the focus becomes more on income than on growing their bucket of money. And so what we think we might want while we're still pre-retirement might be a whole lot different than what you actually need. And I guess just to wrap this one up, and where am I going with all of this conversation, is this is why as you start to get closer to retirement, you have to reanalyze, relook at your investment portfolio. And is it an investment portfolio that's going to get you into retirement and through retirement versus something that's just getting you up to retirement? And so that's something that you really want to focus on. Do you have an investment portfolio that's going to help you with income stability and support you in good economic times as well as poor economic times? Okay, so we've got a couple more survey results here that I've pulled out to go over. I mean, folks, there is much, much more. So go to lifemoneyshow.com if you want to see all of the results from the survey. The next one here, this was kind of interesting too. Which of the following, if any, would be the most valuable improvements to your retirement savings plan? Please select all that apply. And then I'm just going to tell you which kind of categories came up on the top of the chart here as the, I'll say, highest picked categories that people thought would be the most valuable improvements to that workplace retirement plan. At the top of the chart here, actually the top two, I'm going to go through the top two in the chart here. Coming in at 40%, it said investment options that provide guaranteed lifetime income. And the second one here said better explanations for how much income your savings will produce in retirement. So if you think about it here, we're starting to see a theme. That as people are going into retirement, it's less about hitting those home runs to getting the highest returns possible in their investment accounts, and it's more about income. How much income can I get from what I've saved up? How can I make sure that my income is stable through retirement? So I thought that was really interesting. And so for somebody who's pre-retirement, I'm guessing you might not be seeing it yet. You might not be feeling it yet. Or if you're getting closer to retirement, like a year away, I'm guessing you're going to start to feel it, right? Is that, again, that mindset shift from accumulation to distribution and how you have to organize your assets to be able to get into retirement. It also shows me that, unfortunately, these big institutions, these 401ks, these even larger IRA companies, right? If you're just working, you just have your money sitting somewhere, they're not helping to answer those key questions that people need of how much can I take out and how to make it last. Which leads to kind of another top one on the list here. Let's see, this one's 1, 2, 3. This one's number 5 on the list here of the top. I don't know, there's probably 10 or 12 on here. Is 25% of people said they want more one-on-one personalized education. And I do see this. I do find that it's really poorly done by some of the major institutions, helping you, right, getting zero help when it comes to which account type to use or how to help reduce your long-term taxes or how much can you take out. How do you save and invest to hit some of your retirement goals? Basically, people that are in these retirement plans are saying, I want help. So I thought those were just kind of some interesting survey results in regards to workplace retirement plans. And if you feel like you're not getting help, you're not alone. If you feel like you want to learn more about income, you're not alone. All right, so now on to the last one here. As I said, one of the key ingredients that helps increase confidence in retirement. I thought this was really interesting in regards to results. So the survey said, overall, how confident are you that you and your spouse will have enough money to live comfortably throughout your retirement years? And then when you look at this, there's 3 charts on the bottom, and I'm going to look at 2 of them for you. On the far left-hand side, it said, if debt is a major problem. On the far right-hand side, it says debt is not a problem. And then on the vertical, and I'm just going to take a look at a couple here, you've got very confident and somewhat confident. Let's just call those people confident. And then you've got not too confident and not at all confident. So let's call those people not confident. So let's go to the far left-hand side of this chart. Again, on the bottom, it says debt is a major problem. And then on the vertical, we're going to measure people who are either confident or not confident. So when debt is a major problem, we have 70% of people saying that they're not confident. 30% of people saying that they are confident. And again, the confidence is how confident are you that or you and your spouse that you'll have enough money to live comfortably through retirement years. Now, if we go to the other side of this chart, where it says debt is not a problem, folks, it more than reverses the results. Did you hear me there? It more than reverses the results when debt's not a problem. We now have 80% of people saying that they are confident that they'll have enough money to live comfortably throughout their retirement, and 81% that are confident, 19% that are not confident. Think about that for a second. Think about that. Your confidence reverses when debt is not a problem. I can tell you all, there's so many times that we sit and we have these discussions. Well, should I get this loan? Should I pay off this loan? Well, my rate's really low on this loan. Or, there's the long time battle of carrying a mortgage versus not carrying a mortgage. Hopefully these numbers really speak to you. And here's what I mean. We can put together all the tables, charts, numbers, graphs, all day long, right, to prove everything from a number standpoint. But this just shows you the emotional side of things. The emotional side of things is that when debt's not a problem in somebody's overall life, that they're more confident that they're going to live comfortably, that they're going to have enough money to live comfortably through their retirement. So take all the numbers and charts and everything out of it. Just think about that for a second. So think about wherever you're at in life, whatever loans that you may have out there. And we've talked about this before, right? Being an owner and an investor versus being a borrower where you're paying someone else for money. A borrower is that person who's paying somebody else for money. An owner, somebody else is paying you for your money. They're paying you profits. They're paying you interest. That's being an owner. And it shows here that the emotions reverse. When you're the borrower, not so confident. When you're the owner, more confident in regards to your having enough money to live comfortably in retirement. So hopefully that one really makes you think in regards to your life, your situation, and what you have going on. There's no doubt here that there is a lot of surprises in these surveys results. There's a lot of missed expectations in the results. There's a lot of questions about income in these results. All of these surprises, missed expectations, and questions can be overcome. They can be overcome with having a plan in place. Working with someone, if you're not getting the answers that you need, if you're not feeling confident, then you need to work with someone that will get you the answers that you need to help you increase your confidence in retirement. This is what we do each and every day for individuals and families just like you. Provide answers to the questions of when can you retire, how much can you take out and spend in retirement, and how to make it last. We help people not be surprised in regards to their taxes in retirement and instead help them minimize their long-term taxes throughout the retirement. So if these are answers that you're looking for, how much can you spend? How much can you take out? When can you retire? How can you reduce your taxes? How do you keep more of your retirement savings with you versus giving it to the IRS in taxes? If those are the answers that you're looking for, it just starts with a simple 15-minute phone call. You can go to lifemoneyshow.com, you click on the Work With Me tab, and you set up a 15-minute phone call appointment. We're going to decide in that 15-minute phone call based on the questions that are on your mind if there's a potential fit where we can help you out, and then we'll explain, the remaining parts of our process. Or if it's something that's on your mind that we're not necessarily skilled in, we're going to let you know that, and we're also going to point you in the right direction. So again, you can go to lifemoneyshow.com. If you're looking for answers to those questions, go to lifemoneyshow.com, click on the Work With Me tab, and it all just starts with a 15-minute phone call where we're going to tell you whether or not we can help you or we're going to point you in the right direction. Hey, I hope that you found value and benefit in today's show. If so, subscribe on your favorite podcast player, and I look forward to our next conversation together to help you enjoy life today and also be financially confident about your retirement.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Sierens Financial Management, Inc. Sierens Financial Group, Inc. is an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through AE Wealth Management, LLC, AEWM, a registered investment advisor. AEWM does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Sierens Financial Management, Inc. are not subject to investment advisor requirements. AEWM and Sierens Financial Group, Inc. are not affiliated companies. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as a sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Please remember that converting an employer plan account to a Roth IRA is a taxable event. Increased taxable income from the Roth IRA conversion may have several consequences, including, but not limited to, a need for additional tax withholding or estimated tax payments, the loss of certain tax deductions and credits, and higher taxes on Social Security benefits and higher Medicare premiums. Be sure to consult with a qualified tax advisor before making any decisions regarding your IRA. Sierens Financial Group, Inc. is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during the show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Sierens Financial Group, Inc.